Hi there! Welcome back to another episode of Reliable Accountants Educational Video Series. Today, I want to dive into a question that many small business owners ponder. Is your hobby actually a business? And can you claim it as a tax deduction? Let's break it down. A hobby is something you do for personal enjoyment, like painting, baking, or crafting, without any intention of making a profit. A business, on the other hand, is an activity carried out with a clear goal to earn income, often involving planning, marketing, and regular operations. So, how does the Australian Taxation Office, or ATO, decide whether something is a hobby or a business? They look at several factors. Do you intend to make a profit? How often do you do the activity? What's the size and scale of your operation? And do you act in a business-like way, like keeping records, having a business plan, or registering for an ABN? Now, the big question. Can you claim a hobby as a tax deduction? The answer is no. If your activity is just a hobby, any money you make isn't taxable. But equally, any expenses you incur aren't deductible. If your activity is considered a business, then yes, you must report your income. But you can also claim deductions for expenses directly related to running that business, such as materials, equipment, or even marketing costs. Knowing where you stand is crucial. Misclassifying a hobby as a business or vice versa can lead to tax issues down the track. Let's summarize the key differences between a hobby and a business. Activity. A hobby is for personal enjoyment, while a business is aimed at making a profit. Declaring payments. You do not need to declare the amounts you make from your hobby to the ATO. You will need to declare your income to the ATO in your annual return if it's a business. Claiming tax deductions. You cannot claim a deduction for any losses from your creative work if it is a hobby. You can claim for deductions on your expenses and generally need an ABN to do this. Keeping records. You do not need to keep records of your hobby for the ATO. However, it's good practice to keep records in case your circumstances change. You must keep records for your business for tax and other obligations. Licenses and permits. Generally, you will not need to hold licenses and permits for your hobby. You may need licenses and permits specific to your type of business. Australian Business Number, ABN. Eligibility. You are not eligible for an ABN for a hobby. However, if you sell goods or services to businesses, they may ask you for an ABN when they pay you. You can use a statement by a supplier form to avoid the business withholding an amount from the payment to you for not having an ABN. It is not compulsory for businesses to register for an ABN. However, getting an ABN is free and makes running your business easier, particularly if you have to register for other taxes like GST. Without an ABN, other businesses must withhold 47% from payments they make to you for tax purposes. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions or would like to know more about the difference between a hobby and a business, please don't hesitate to contact Reliable Accountants on 1300049534.